What if the Crawleys don't just face a farewell, but a reckoning? A storm is brewing over Downton Abbey, one that could change everything. Secrets will rise, loyalties will be tested, and the grandeur we've known might not survive the coming storm. So here's the question. Will this final chapter be a graceful bow or a painful goodbye? The final chapter of Downton Abbey is officially on its way, and it's bringing answers, surprises, and maybe even a few heartbreaks. The third and final film in the franchise has locked in a release date of September 12, 2025. Alongside that came some big casting news. Paul Giamatti is returning as Cora's brother, Harold Levinson, reprising his role from the original series. There are plenty of questions fans are dying to have answered in this final movie, and right at the top is Lady Mary's marriage to Henry Talbot. In a new era, Mary was clearly stepping into a leadership role at Downton, keeping the estate afloat while her husband Henry, played by Matthew Goode, was entirely missing. The explanation given was that he was off at a racing event in Istanbul, which kept him away for months, even during huge family milestones like Tom and Lucy's wedding and the birth of their child. During his absence, Mary evolved. She took on more responsibility, began to mirror Lady Violet's strength, and even found herself connecting with director Jack Barber. Though she didn't let it turn into anything serious, it was clear she was reflecting on her future, even referencing her late husband Matthew with a cheeky nod to Dan Stevens' role in Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast. Henry Talbot only made a brief appearance in the first film and skipped the second entirely, which makes many wonder if their marriage could come to an end in the upcoming movie. Another storyline quietly gaining momentum is the romance between Mrs. Patmore and Mr. Mason. Throughout the series, there were hints of something between them, but nothing solid ever developed. That changed when Daisy and Andy decided to play matchmaker and reignited the spark between them. Mr. Mason had his doubts. He felt uneasy about moving in with Mrs. Patmore and being supported by her. But after a few heartfelt conversations and some whiskey shared with Mr. Barrow, he came around. Now it looks like Mrs. Patmore may finally get her happy ending, while Daisy and Andy take full control of the farm. It's a heartwarming development that brings closure to long-running character arcs and sets up a future filled with hope. What really raises the stakes for this final film is its timing. Downton Abbey 3 is set during the 1930s, just after the events of a new era, which ended in 1929. That puts the story right on the edge of the Great Depression. The Crawleys, once worried about social change and reputation, now face something far more serious: financial survival. The estate may be grand, but it's not immune to global economic collapse. The threat of World War II also looms large. Just as the first season began against the backdrop of World War I, the final film may close the saga as another global conflict begins to stir. Downton Abbey has always walked a line between tradition and adaptation, but this time the Crawleys are up against something far more existential. With Thomas Barrow stepping down as butler, Mr. Carson will have to train Andy Parker to fill the role. Meanwhile, Lady Mary is left wondering if Downton Abbey can survive the changes ahead. The filmmakers have always honored historical accuracy, and setting this story during the Great Depression will likely highlight the financial and emotional strain on the family as they fight to preserve their way of life. Downton Abbey is more than just a home. It's a symbol. And during the 1930s, maintaining an estate of that size will be nearly impossible. Just because the Crawleys are wealthy doesn't mean their money is limitless. The question now is whether their children can grow up in the same security that generations before them enjoyed, or if they'll have to leave Downton behind altogether. Most of the original cast is returning for the third movie, but Maggie Smith's beloved Lady Violet won't be among them. She said her final goodbye in A New Era. There's still hope, though, for other characters to return, like Lily James as Lady Rose. Fans have been eager to see her back, and this might just be the film where that happens. As the story draws to a close, the final film must do more than tie up loose ends. It needs to confront the reality of change, legacy, and loss. And it may not be a fairy tale ending. If the Crawleys are forced to leave their ancestral home behind, it could mean not only the end of a house, but the end of an era. one that began with war and grandeur and might now end in quiet surrender to a world that no longer makes room for tradition. That's it for now, but we'll be back soon with even more updates on Downton Abbey and all your favorite shows and films. Stay tuned, and remember, just because a story ends doesn't mean it's forgotten.